Hello everyone. Okay. Am I audible and visible? Let me know, then we'll start. Fine. Good. Very good. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to my class. I'm myself Dr. Deepthi Karya. I'm the PhD Physiology and your educator for physiology. Okay. So today we'll continue our discussion regarding skeletal muscle contraction. Okay. Now, before that, I have one announcement. You can join my WhatsApp group. Okay, the number for the WhatsApp group is 78638226668. The number is given in the description box also, or the link is also given 78638226668. Okay, please join my WhatsApp group. What is the advantage of joining this group? That you can get chance to just a minute, let me. You can get a chance. I'll be having a lucky draw on 25th of this month. So if you are lucky winner of my draw, then you can get a chance to win free copy of my book. Okay, Physiology Practicals. Fine. So this is the reason for which I am telling you to join the WhatsApp group. Just a minute, let me have some issue that me let me resolve it so that you can have no problem in watching me live. Fine. Okay. So here now, one more announcement here is you can download all my lecture notes by downloading the application Vesalius and subscribing the application. That is one thing. Second thing is you can get my notes in hard copy, Physiology Notes. That is a book which is available in hard copy also. That also you can order from Flipkart as well as Amazon. Link of all this is given in the description box. Okay, now let us continue today's topic, that is skeletal muscle contraction. Learning objective of today's topic. Today's topic may be asked as a full question. In full question, the question may be properties of skeletal muscle. Okay, from which properties of skeletal muscle. Okay, like cardiac muscle, we have a full question of properties of skeletal muscle, from which one property is excitability, action potential. Okay, we have already discussed. Second property is contractility, that we are discussing this one, contractile response, one of the very important topic that we are going to discuss. Okay, so now this contraction, contractility, which are the factors they affect skeletal muscle contraction. Okay, so these are all the factors, very important factors affecting skeletal muscle contraction. Number one is strength of stimulus. As those who have attended my last classes, they can come to know that which are the factors affecting strength of stimulus, which are the different stimuli. They are, as we have discussed, sub threshold, okay, or sub minimal, threshold or minimal. Okay, then third stimulus, that is sub maximal, less than maximum, maximal stimulus, and supra maximal stimulus. So this we have already discussed in our last class, supra maximal. Fine. So these are the first, this is the first factor which we have already discussed, strength of stimulus. Okay, second factor, that is frequency of stimulus. Suppose we have stimulated the skeletal muscle with a single stimulus, you will get this kind of curve. This is simple muscle curve. But suppose if we are giving multiple stimuli, so what happens to this simple muscle curve that we will discuss? For example, suppose if I ask you to pick up the book, what you are supposed to do, you have to give impulses. It is not a single impulse that results in the muscle contraction. So multiple stimuli are there. This is available. This happens in our intact body also, as well as this happens in the non-muscle preparation also. Okay, another factor affect the muscle contraction is temperature. Temperature increases, muscle contraction, muscle performance improves. Then load. Okay, load also is one of the very important factor. Preload and afterload we will discuss in detail. Okay, load means suppose you have to contract your muscle with load and without load. Is there any difference in the performance? Yes, definitely. So that also is the factor. And initial length of the muscle, stretching of the muscle also affects muscle contraction. Now we will discuss one by one all these factors. Fine. Starting, so first factor we have already discussed. I repeat all the factors: strength, of stimulus, frequency of stimulus, temperature, load, and initial length of muscle fiber. Hello Ali, welcome to my class. Now starting with this, first we have already discussed strength of stimulus, okay, different stimuli, okay, whether it is, okay, fine, not to worry if you are late. Strength, we have already discussed sub, minimal, minimal or threshold. Other name for minimal stimulus is threshold. Sub, maximal, okay, maximal and supra maximal stimuli. So these are the different stimuli, okay, fine. Now second very important factor affecting muscle contraction is frequency of stimulus. What is this frequency of stimulus? Suppose you can see here we have stimulated muscle once, only once, so we get this kind of curve, okay, this is simple muscle curve. But now if suppose I am giving second stimulus here in this latent period, or second stimulus in the contraction period, or in the relaxation period, or after relaxation period, what happens? So this stimuli, they affect your muscle contraction. How, that we will discuss, fine. So now you can see here, first of all, first one, I think this is not very much visible, but I have drawn it like that. So first is, if your second stimulus is applied, very important thing here, this is, yesterday we have discussed latent period duration is 0.01 second, okay, contraction period is 0.04 second, relaxation is 0.05 second, okay. So suppose if we are giving the stimulus in the first half, this is your latent period, this one, fine. This latent period, we are dividing it in two halves, first half and second half, okay. So if we are giving the stimulus in the, so this is first stimulus, and if we are giving ps1, if we are giving the second stimulus in the first half of latent period, here there is no response. Very important thing, why? Because this is absolute refractory period. Whenever you are giving any stimulus in this period, your muscle or your tissue will not give any response. This is absolute refractory period, okay, fine. Now second thing is, here in this graph you can see, if we are giving the second stimulus here in the second half of latent period, you can see here this is the latent period which has two halves, fine. And if we are giving this in the second half of latent period, so what happens? There is, you can see these two stimuli are summated. So what happens? Your curve is slightly bigger than the normal one. So this effect is known as summation effect, fine. Effect of two stimuli is summated, so you will get single curve, only one curve is obtained, okay. But very important thing here is amplitude increases and base is broad, okay, broad base, fine. Why? Because of this summation effect, fine. Now next thing, if suppose I'm giving the stimulus, second stimulus is given during relaxation period, this here your stimulus comes here in the relaxation period, so what happens? There is superposition. Superposition means relaxation period of the first curve when we are giving the second stimulus, okay. So what happens? Two curves are obtained, but this second one, that is superimposes to the first curve, so it is not exactly here. So you will get this kind of effect like this, okay. So before completion of the relaxation period of the first stimulus, when first contraction, when second stimulus comes, then you will get this kind of curve, okay. And very important thing here is amplitude of the second curve is increased, second curve increases, fine, this one. Now next, last but important, beneficial effect. What is this beneficial effect? Suppose you have given the second stimulus after relaxation period, so like this you will get the curve, you will get separate second curve, okay. But this second curve is having large amplitude, higher amplitude than the first one, and this is because of beneficial effect. This may be asked as a short note so many times, what is beneficial effect, okay, because the second curve gets benefited. Now what are the causes of this beneficial effect? Why there is beneficial effect? Number one, first cause of the beneficial effect is because when the muscle was contracting for the first time, calcium ions are released from your sarcoplasmic reticulum, terminal cisternae and all this way. Okay, now this calcium ions, they are available when we are giving the second stimulus. Fine. So that is first cause. Okay. Second, because of the first contraction, muscles, they have increased viscosity. Muscles, they become viscous tissue. Okay, so when viscosity of the muscle increases and inertia of the muscle reduces. Along with that, third important thing is, because of the muscle contraction, pH decreases, or you can say H plus ion concentration increases. And as a fourth cause, that is because of increase in the body temperature, again all the muscle contraction is affected. So these are all the causes for beneficial effect. Very important thing, may be asked as a short question. What is beneficial effect? When second stimulus is given after relaxation of the first stimulus, then your second stimulus is benefited by the first one. This is known as beneficial effect. Fine. What are the causes for beneficial effect? Release of calcium ion, viscosity of the muscle is affected, H plus concentration and temperature increases. Now, so this is about two stimuli. If we are giving two stimuli only, now if we are giving multiple stimuli, okay, suppose this is, you can see this is single stimulus, but if we are giving multiple stimuli, what happens? This effect, what effects are found? These effects, they depend on frequency of stimuli. Okay, suppose we have given 10, 20, 30. Okay, and depending on the frequency, or you can say in the which period, contraction or relaxation or latent period, in which period your second stimulus comes. Suppose your frequency is very high, means the second stimulus comes in the contraction period only of the first one. Okay, so the response is different. Either it is discrete response, which is also known as staircase effect. Staircase effect, we will discuss what is it. Incomplete tetanus and complete tetanus. Now, what is tetanus? Basically, tetanus is defined as a fusion of contraction. Fusion, very important, maybe asked as a short question. It is fusion of contraction when multiple stimuli are given. Okay, when the muscle is stimulated with multiple, it is a state of sustained contraction or fusion of contraction. You can see here, there is contraction, no relaxation in between. This is complete tetanus. Okay, and when stimuli are over, then there is relaxation. So what is tetanus? It is a state of sustained contraction without relaxation. Why? Because of multiple successive stimuli. Now we'll discuss different responses. Number one, first, that is incomplete, or you can say discrete response or staircase effect. Okay, so what happens here in staircase effect? Okay, or discrete response, you can see here, this is only simple muscle curve, this one. Fine. Now this is your discrete effect here. Fine. So what happens here in the discrete effect? When your next stimulus is given after completion of the relaxation period. So you can see here, relaxation is over, then second, then third, like this. So you will get this kind of staircase, means every second stimulus is benefited by the first one. So beneficial effect, which we have discussed, it is seen here. Okay, so now I repeat, what is staircase effect? When the next stimulus falls after completion of the relaxation period of the first one, every successive contraction is benefited by the previous one. So you will get this kind of curve. This is known as staircase effect, or other name for this is trapeze. Fine. Now, another important thing, when you can get this kind of curve, when your frequency of stimulus is less than 10 per second. Why less than 10 per second? As we have yesterday discussed, that total duration of the contraction of simple muscle curve is 100 milliseconds. So, if we are giving this as a rate of 10, less than 10 per second, then only your second stimulus falls after relaxation period. Fine. So this is first effect, that is known as staircase effect or trapeze. Next is, if our stimulus frequency increases. Okay, frequency increases too when the duration, you can see, I'll just show you. When the frequency is, just a minute. Previously the frequency was less than 10 per second. Now the frequency would be 10 to 20 per second. When we are giving the stimuli at a frequency of 10 to 20 per second, in 1 second, if we are giving 10 stimuli or more than 10, then we have this incomplete tetanus. You can see here, this is incomplete tetanus. Here what happens, next stimulus falls in the relaxation period of the previous one. So relaxation is incomplete like this. And you can see here, this contraction are near to each other. These are a little bit separated. Okay, so incomplete relaxation. And therefore, this is known as incomplete tetanus. Fine. Okay, so this is next effect. Third is complete tetanus. Now your frequency is highest. When your frequency is more than 20 per second, in 1 second, 20 stimuli, okay, when or more than 20 they are given. So what happens, every stimulus you can see here, they fall in the contraction period. Okay, because contraction period duration is your 0.04 second. Okay. So here it falls during contraction period. So what happens? Muscle is not relaxing at all. You can see here in incomplete tetanus, muscle relaxes. It goes down little bit, but here it will not go down. It just in the state of sustained contraction without relaxation. This is known as complete tetanus or clonus. Very important thing. Okay. I repeat the definition of tetanus. It is a state of sustained contraction without relaxation when multiple successive stimuli, more than 20 per second, they are given in the skeletal muscle. So this is your multiple stimuli effect, tetanus. Okay. Now, which are the ionic bases of tetanus? Why there is tetanus? As same thing, same as beneficial effect. You can see here when muscle contracts, you can see calcium ions are released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. This is sarcoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Now, if we are giving multiple stimuli, now these calcium ions are not getting chance to go back. So calcium concentration increases and progressively calcium ions are accumulated in the sarcoplasm. Okay. And because of increased amount of the calcium ion, there is a state of sustained contraction. Fine. So this is the ionic basis for the tetanus. Now next factor that affects the muscle contraction is temperature. Now contractile response is also affected by temperature. How it is affected by temperature? You can see here, this is simple muscle curve. This one, this is normal temperature. Okay, this is hot saline and this is cold saline. So what happens when you are moderately increase the temperature? It is not very high. Okay, keep in mind it is either around 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, so what happens here? There is shortening of the muscle, viscosity of the muscle decreases, calcium ions they enter inside the sarcoplasm from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, so muscle elasticity increases and chemical processes are increases. So now what happens, what are the changes you can see here? This is your normal muscle, normal simple muscle curve. You can see here green one, this one. Okay, this is red one. What happens in the red one? You can see there is decreased latent period. This is latent period. Latent period decreases, one change. Second change, height of contraction increases. You can see here, height. Force of contraction also it is known as height or force of contraction. Height or force of contraction. Third thing, contraction period decreases, this one. And relaxation period also decreases. Okay, so these are the effects of hot saline, or you can say increased temperature. Now, opposite are the effects of cold saline. Suppose if you are treating the muscle with the cold saline, how to perform this? You just have to remove the fluid which is present in the muscle and just pour the fluid which is having temperature of about 10 degrees Celsius. So what happens? Muscle excitability decreases, chemical processes are also slow, viscosity increases, force of contraction, propagation of all the periods. So here you can see what happens when the temperature decreases. Here you can see latent period increases, this one, contraction period also increases and relaxation period also increases, and height of contraction decreases. So these are the effects of cold saline. Very important last one, that is the effect of very high temperature. Suppose if you treat the muscle with very high temperature, more than 50 degrees Celsius, then there is a state of heat rigor. What is heat rigor? It is a state of sustained contraction without relaxation. Rigor means sustained contraction. And what is the cause for heat rigor? Muscle proteins are coagulated and denaturation and coagulation of muscle proteins. Fine. And this is irreversible process, so always treat the muscle with very high temperature at last, otherwise it will not go back to its original position. Fine. So this is all about effects we have discussed today. We have discussed effect of frequency of stimuli. First, we have already discussed strength of stimulus effect on the muscle contraction. Today we discussed frequency of stimulus. Second, third, multiple stimuli and their effect. And fourth, we have discussed effect of temperature. In next class, we will discuss effect of load. Very important, very confusing point. Effect of load on the skeletal muscle contraction and initial length of the muscle fiber on the skeletal muscle contraction. Okay, fine. So this is all. Announcement again once more. This is my WhatsApp number. So please join this group. We will be having a lucky draw on 25th of this month, 25th of April. Note down my WhatsApp number. Join my WhatsApp group. The number is 78638226668. Okay, and you will get a chance to win my book. We will be having lucky draw for the same. Another important thing, if you have my number, you can ask any query regarding physiology to me directly. You can WhatsApp me on this number. I'm available and I will answer you as soon as possible. Fine. And also we have generated link for the joining WhatsApp group. The link is also shared in the description box. So if you are watching this video, just open the description box and you will get the link for joining the WhatsApp group. Okay, so join the WhatsApp group and you will get exciting prizes. Okay, another important this announcement is soft copy of all my notes. They are available on the application Vesalius. So you can download the application as well as you can subscribe the same for getting the soft copy of the note, and for hard copy you can order on Flipkart or Amazon. That is available. Okay. Thank you so much. If you like my video, you can like it, you can share with all your friends and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so you will get all the notification for my lectures. Okay, thank you so much. My next lecture is on digestive system, so stay connected.